church renaissance. Church residence, rather. This house was built in 1707 by a prominent local merchant named Robert Califf. Benjamin Church bought it from his heirs to use as a Boston residence. Church's practice is on Newbury Street, a fairly short walk away, so the house was an ideal location. It's also in a nice part of town. Even in colonial Boston, two-story houses were with fenced-in gardens. My goodness, I can't read. Don't come cheap, and they didn't even get cable. Actually, given the location, it seems the church's practice was doing very well indeed. That, or he had another source of revenue. Oh. Benjamin Church was a talented physician, and essentially the first Surgeon General of the U.S. Army. Oh, so the picture was of Benjamin Church. I could never tell. Church was born in Rhode Island and graduated from Harvard University in 1754, so you're meeting him here just out of college. He'll be appointed head of the medical wing of the Continental Army in 1775, but for God's sake, don't tell him. It'll go straight to his head. Church goes on to become a vocal patriot, which makes him sound like a weird member of a member of a weird barbershop quartet. But he was a member of the Sons Liberty and his local committee of correspondence. He'll even speak at the 3rd anniversary of the Boston Massacre. He's also got a house in a very nice part of town. Being a doctor must pay well. New South Meeting House. Another wooden church, this time with a bell in the steeple. Steeple? Samuel Adams' father, also named Samuel Adams, was one of the founding members. I'm surprised it wasn't torn down for firewood during the siege, but I guess its members just hadn't angered the British enough for that. It's conveniently named so you won't mistake it for the old South Meeting House, where all the important events happened. Simple as best. I'm describing the naming system. I'm not describing you. Fort Hill and South Battery. Fort Hill is the second highest hill in Baston. Why did I say Baston? In Boston. If only it had tried harder when it was a little hillock, and overlooks Boston Harbor. Defenses were built here in mid-17th century, along with a smaller one-gun fortification near the harbor named the South Battery. The South Battery was expanded in the 1740s, but had fallen out of use by the 1760s. Both it and Fort Hill were rebuilt by the Patriots during the Revolutionary War, but both were dismantled before the turn of the century. Fort Hill, the hill itself, not the fortification, was leveled in the late 1860s to make room for more land, so it never realized its dreams of becoming the highest hill in town. If that sounds familiar, it's because it happened on every hill in Boston. Hills are the natural enemy of Bostonians, and always will be. Oh, that's silly. I'm gonna read it in a menacing voice. Silas Thatcher was the nephew of a well-to-do London merchant who purchased a commission for him in the British regulars when he was quite young. He was sent to the colonies in 1750, poor man, where he was posted at the defenses along Boston Neck. You won't be surprised to learn that Thatcher had a mean streak. Few men wanted to serve under him, which might be what led to him being posted in Boston in the first place. Living in the colonies was regarded as something akin to exile at the time. Actually, come to think of it, not much has changed. Many who advanced under Thatcher's command were noted for their cruelty, like his personal assistant, Cutter, which even you might have guessed is a nickname, meaning one who likes to cut things, preferably people. Not what I look for in a PA, but there you go. At the time, pay in the army was notoriously bad, and soldiers would often pick up odd jobs in their spare hours. Why did I all of a sudden sound like a Swedish, villain? In the spare hours. No, that's not even Swedish. That's French. To make ends meet. No, I don't know what I'm talking about. This made them rather unpopular in Boston, where unemployment was rather high. However, Thatcher found something he enjoyed much more, demanding protection money from merchants in Boston. Not only that, but he dabbled in theft, fencing stolen goods, and the slave trade. A real Renaissance man, capturing the local indigenous people and selling them off to the highest bidder. Which is what he was doing when Hatham found him.